This is part one of our analysis of the phrase Baruch Atoh Hashem, and we're going to start by attempting to translate it. So I think you'll find most people translate the phrase as "Blessed are you, Hashem," and there's nothing inherently wrong with this, but it does carry a problematic implication, namely the implication that we're somehow blessing God. And the problem is that how can we bless God? We can't give anything to Him. Just to elaborate on the implication here. For example, when we say Hashem blesses us, we mean that we are the recipient and He is giving blessings to us. Or when we say, for example, that Yitzchak blessed Yaakov, same thing, is we mean that Yaakov is the recipient and Yitzchak gives a blessing to him. So when we say Baruch Atoh Hashem, then we're inclined to think the same way, that we're somehow giving a blessing to Hashem. And as we'll see, that is not the case. We'll start with the Abudirim, who traces the pasuk, traces the phrase back to its source pasuk, Baruch Atoh Hashem lamdeni chukecha in Tehillim. We're going to actually set that aside for now and take that up in another video. But then he answers our question. He says, Baruch is not in the passive form, but rather is like Rachum and Chanun, merciful and gracious, meaning that he himself is the source of the blessings and doesn't receive them from others. So it's exactly the opposite of the common translation. When we say Baruch Atoh Hashem, we're not saying you, Hashem, are the recipient of blessings. We are saying you, Hashem, are the source of blessings, and we are the recipients. Rבינו Bachya ben Asher in the הקמח gives another, echoes the same interpretation. He actually focuses much more on the problem than the solution. He just mentions the solution in passing. He says, by way of the pshat on the subject, the blessings are not for the sake of God, but rather they are for the sake of humans. For since He is the source of blessing, that's the solution, okay, which he just kind of says in passing. And all blessings derive from Him, and no matter how many beings bless Him, none of their blessings are worthy to Him. For He is the primary existence who brought all existences into being, and they only exist because of His existence, and everything is dependent on Him. But His existence is self-sufficient. He isn't dependent on anyone else whatsoever. And if all of them would bless Him all day long and proclaim His praises all night and are not silent at night, what gain would He have in this? What could they give Him? What would He take from their hand? There's no benefit or gain in these blessings except for ourselves. So here he's elaborating on why it's problematic to say that we're blessing God. Hashem is the independent existence, and we are the dependent existences. Nothing we do can affect Him in any way, for good or for bad, and we certainly can't give anything to Him. And he's trying to accentuate the absurdity of the notion that our blessings somehow affect Him in some way. Sefer Achinok says something similar. Hashem, blessed is He, possesses all glory and majesty, all goodness, all wisdom, all ability, and all blessing. And all the words of a human being and all his activity, whether good or bad, will neither add to Hashem nor detract. Therefore, you must understand that when we say continually, blessed are you, Hashem, or blessed is He, the meaning is not, as it would seem, to add blessing to the one who has no need of any increase. Perish the thought. So again, similar point here. Nothing we do can affect Hashem in any way, for good or for bad. For He is master over everything and over all blessings. He creates them anew, producing them out of nothing, and bestows a great beneficent flow from them when it is His goodwill to do so. Okay, then the Sefer Achinok goes into a whole long explanation of how brachos work, which we're going to devote another video to. And he concludes the same as the Abudirim and the Rבינו Bachya. According to the premise of this reason, the term Baruch is an adjective. In other words, a grateful acknowledgement to Him that He contains all blessings. Lastly, for today, the Sefer העיקרים says, the term Baruch is applied to one who receives goodness and abundance from another, and it is also applied to one who bestows goodness and abundance upon another. So in other words, it's used in both ways. When the word is applied to the giver, it is an adjective, like merciful and gracious, which are adjectives applied to Hashem, blessed is He, indicating that the act which emanates from Him is a blessing, i.e. an increase of abundance and goodness. For just as curse means lack of goodness, as all commentators agree, so blessing means an increase of goodness. For this reason, the word Baruch is an adjective for the one who bestows an abundance of goodness. So all of these Mefarshim are saying essentially the same thing, which is that the more precise translation of Baruch Atoh Hashem is you, Hashem, are the source of all blessing, and this solves our problematic implication because we're making it clear that when we say brachos, we're not giving anything to Hashem, rather we're acknowledging what He gives to us, His beneficence to us. So in terms of translating this into kavana, when you are about to say a bracha over some good that you were about to receive or partake of, or some good that you did partake of, pause and reflect on the fact that you are acknowledging that Hashem is the source of all good, and that is the intent of the first phrase in every bracha. The Mefarshim I mentioned here aren't the only ones who say this. You know, the Rashba also says this. There are many more Mefarshim cited in the Otar Tfilos and the Torah's Chaim Siddur. I just wanted to show you that this is a fairly unanimous point, if not fully unanimous.